Hi. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening from wherever in the world you are. I'm Alethea, PADA's Youth Ambassador, and I'm very happy to have you here today for the virtual tour guiding workshop. It's going to be a 2-hour workshop where we learn how to do virtual tours on a very special platform that's accessible to all of us, Google Street View. So before I begin, I just wanted to say thank you everyone for turning up today. And I wanted to give a very special shout out to our co-hosts of this virtual tour guiding workshop. Our co-hosts have managed to support us and help us in achieving a very successful event. And they are École Hotelière de Lausanne, the University of Mindanao, PATA Indonesia Bali Tourism Polytechnic Student Chapter, PATA Singapore Temasek Poly Student Chapter, PATA Vietnam RMIT Student Chapter, together with the THM Club in Saigon, as well as PATA Vietnam RMIT Student Chapter with the THM Club in Hanoi. So thank you very much to our 6 co-hosts who made today a success. And I just want to take a moment to say thank you to our guest speaker, Mr. James Joseph Galvez. So James is a highly motivated, young and creative speaker who is currently doing his master's. James, are you there? James is a seasoned professional who is often admired by his colleagues as a game changer. With his years of experience in the tour guiding industry, he focuses on promoting Philippines and Southeast Asia tourism, as well as mentoring the tourism frontliners in the region. So James is the director of Galvez All-In Travel Company. He is a PATA youth currently doing his master's studies, and he has been recently conferred by the World Federation of Tourist Guides Association, WFTGA, as its newest national trainer. So we're very happy to have James today teach us and guide us about his passion, which is tour guiding. Hi, James.
Okay. Hi, thank you, Alethea.
Okay,
thank you.
So one moment, right before I give it over to James and he can start the workshop from us, I just wanted to say that please introduce yourself in the Zoom webinar chat. Tell us where you're from, tell us your name, which university you study at, etc., etc. And if you have any questions during the 2-hour session, please use the Q&A function below so that we can answer your questions. All attendees of this webinar will have a certificate of participation at the end. So we look forward to giving you that. And we look forward to having a very innovative session today. James, over to you.
All right. I'm so excited to do this, but perhaps let me just show you an actual virtual tour guiding. So again, welcome to this webinar virtual tour guiding workshop organized by Pacific Asia Travel Association Youth together with some of our 6 co-host universities around Asia. So let me just start with my screen. All right. Okay, welcome ladies and gentlemen, mabuhay! I am James Galvez and I'm here to bring you to the island country, the Philippines. So the Philippines is an archipelago of a string of around 7,641 islands located in the southeast coast of Asia. It is bounded by the Pacific Ocean here on the right-hand side of your screen, okay, in the east, Malaysia, and parts of Indonesian islands on the south China Sea on the west, or the West Philippine Sea on the west, with countries Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, and this island of Hainan, a part of China, and the stunning country of Taiwan in the north. So the island is split into 3 geographical zones. So we have Luzon here, okay, the largest island where the capital of the Philippines is situated. We also have Visayas, which is known for its fine beaches and idyllic coves. And lastly, Mindanao here at the bottom part of the Philippines, whose exotic forests makes it an irresistible haven for nature lovers. So geographically, the Philippines has an area of 300,000 square kilometers, and it stretches for about 1,850 kilometers from the islands of Batanes here in the northern part, and the Sibutu Island here at the southern part. So the country also consists of 81 provinces as well as 120 chartered cities all around the country. So the Philippines' cultural diversity evolved 100 years ago, shared by the Malays, Spanish, and of course our friends Americans. Longtime affiliation with the West made the Philippines is the fourth most populous English-speaking country and the only predominant Christians in Asia. It is also a country rich of natural resources and natural wonders, I should say. Some are found in the mountain areas of the Cordillera administrative region here in the island of Luzon. So for now, maybe I will just be switching the screen. So again, I'm happy that you're here with me today. So just to give you another slide here. Okay, let me see. There you go. So I'm sure that you're now seeing my maps here. Okay, so just hang on because sometimes the challenge here is really the internet connection. Okay, so I will now navigate you to Banawe Rice Terraces. Okay, I'm pretty sure you are now all excited to see the beauty of Banawe Rice Terraces. So I know also some of you have already heard about the Banawe Rice Terraces. So what is this about? What is this rice terraces that James has been talking? Okay, so let me just share to you one of the best photos that I could share. Okay, perhaps I will just type in one of the rice terraces found in Banawe, which is the Batad Rice Terraces. So hold on, let me just hover you to Batad Rice Terraces. Okay, by the way, Batad is part of the town of Banawe. Okay, so don't be confused on that. All right, so here, for 2,000 years, okay. So by the way, this photo was taken by Yi Junlin via Street View on February 2017. So this is the Batad Rice Terraces or the Banawe Rice Terraces. So for 2,000 years, the high rice fields of the Ifugao has followed the contours of the mountains, the fruit of knowledge handed down from one generation to the next, and the expression of scared tradition and generation. So they help to create the landscape and delicate social balance. So as you can see, this is the planting season for the Banawe rice terraces. So the rice terraces in the Philippines is found in the Cordilleras is an outstanding example of an evoked living cultural heritage. Okay, so if the Ifugao rice terraces as well, okay, are the priceless contribution of the Philippine ancestors to humanity built 2,000 years ago, passed from generation to generation. Okay, so apart from the rice terraces, you might also be wondering what else can the Cordilleras can offer. Well, here in the Cordilleras, we have the Sea of Clouds. So let me just navigate you to what the Sea of Clouds is. Okay, so for now, perhaps if you have questions, just type into to the chat box, and I will be very much willing to answer those questions right after my tour. Okay, so okay, now we jump to the Sea of Clouds. So that my next presentation would be Mount Pulag. Okay, let me just choose you some of the best photos of Mount Pulag. There you go. Okay, all right. So playground of the gods, picture a sea of clouds, and stunning sunrise? Yes, you heard it right from me. Stunning sunrise as you see on your screen. Who would say no to this majestic Mount Pulag? So it is Luzon's highest peak at 2,900 meters above sea level, considered as a sacred place for the people called Ibaloys. It is also a natural habitat of the several endemic animal and plants species that can only be found in the area. So another Sea of Clouds favorite for the beginners is Mount Ulap. Okay, so let me just again hover you to our next stop, which is Mount Ulap. Okay, so Mount Ulap is also located in the Cordillera. So as you see, these photos that I was sharing to you earlier, I was sharing to you, were taken in the mountains. Okay, so I think you're now ready to see Mount Ulap. So by the way, the term Ulap, the local term Ulap, is actually equivalent to the English word, which is clouds. So that's also the reason why Mount Ulap is named as such. Okay, so let's see if we could have some of the photos with the clouds. There you go. I think this is one of the best photos that I could share with you. Okay, so situated in Itogon, Benguet, with a towering 1,800 height above sea level is this Mount Ulap, which is great for day hikes and first-time climbers. Okay, it is also known for its scenic view of the mountains, as you see here. Okay, perfect for trekking and the grasslands and pine tree ridges. Okay, Mount Ulap derives its name from its condition, okay, that is usually covered with clouds called ulap in Tagalog or in local term. So packing the right gear is very essential whenever you go here at Mount Ulap. Okay, and other major hikes in the mountain province or in the Cordilleras because the temperature would come as low as 4 degrees Celsius. Yes, you heard me right. 4 degrees Celsius. So, from the highlands of the Philippines, we now go to the lowlands. I am excited to show to you what the Philippines can offer in the lowlands. So, I think I'm now ready to show to you, okay, this UNESCO World Heritage Site. Okay, so welcome to Vegan City, a UNESCO World Heritage Village. So established in the 16th century, Vegan is the best preserved example of planned Spanish colonial town in Asia. Its architecture reflects the coming together of cultural elements from elsewhere in the Philippines, from China, and even from Europe. Okay, so resulting in the culture and townscape that have no parallel elsewhere in East and even in Southeast Asia. So Vegan is the most intact example of Asia that is well-planned Spanish colonial town. So apart from this, let me also share with you some of its highlights. Okay, let me see if we can go there real time. Okay, so this is the new heritage site in the city of Vigan. So by the way, Vigan City is located at the northwest part of the Philippines, which can be reached for approximately 9 to 10 hours drive from the Philippine city capital, Manila. Okay, so there are buses that you can take from there and will take you for around 9 to 10 hours. So going back, it is important trading post before the colonial era. So as you can see on the upper left-hand side of the screen, we have the two-story building, which is painted yellow, orange, and with white painted walls. These are actually patterned with the Spanish colonial era architecture. So it's also best to walk along here even daytime or even at night. So most of the tourists would tend to take a photo of Calle Crisologo. So we are actually here located now at Calle Crisologo. And you can even buy some of the most precious souvenirs that you can find here in Vegan City. Okay, so that is Vegan City, one of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Now, I know some of you also know Philippines as having one of the best beaches in the world. And I'm pretty sure that you're now excited to explore what are the beaches that James has been saying. Okay, so one of the beaches that is popular, or one of the destinations that is popular here in the Philippines, is El Nido. Okay, so El Nido is actually part of the province called Palawan. So you are now seeing Sumitsu Island here. So here, we have here, you can see on your screen, we have the white sand beaches, and at the bottom, you see the turquoise waters, very clear, and the Karst Mountain, okay, on the upper corner of your screen. So we also have a number, dozens of tourists, okay, enjoying the white sand beaches, the white sand beach of this island, which is part of El Nido. All right. So I'm pretty sure you also have some more questions for the destinations that I have presented. So if so, you do have questions, just let me know and type it in here in our chat box. Okay. So once again, I'm James Galvez from the Philippines saying mabuhay. Thank you. All right. So, Ali, I think I just had like a very quick example of what I do.
Thank you so much for that virtual tour. It was really beautiful. Your country is so beautiful. I can't wait for our borders to reopen so that I can go and visit.
Yeah, me too. I will be happy to welcome you here, Ali, and the rest of our participants.
Okay, so a short announcement from the administrative side. Our webinar has now reached 500 participants. Congratulations on everybody for being the first 500 people to come into Zoom. From now on, we will be streaming on Facebook Live for the PADA headquarters Facebook page. So if you have any friends who would like to join us, please share the Facebook Live video on PADA headquarters Facebook page with your friends. Thank you very much. James, now over to you, back to you. Let's get started.
All right. Thank you, Ali. So we are now gearing to the actual workshop. So I know most of you is now excited to know how did I do that. Okay, it seems like it's very easy to do that virtual tour that I just did, but it actually takes a challenge, or it takes patience for someone to do that. So again, welcome to Passion and Innovation Storytelling through Virtual Tour Guiding, sponsored, of course, organized by the Pacific Asia Travel Association. So once again, I'm James Joseph Galvez. I'm a licensed tour guide here in the Philippines, and I humble myself being the pioneer of the live virtual tour guiding in the country. Okay, so just to give you an outline, we will be speaking, or we'll be talking about the virtual tour guiding per se. I will be defining what virtual tour guiding is, and what is a virtual tour guide, and how it is different from being live. Okay, and I will also be sharing to you a refresher course on handling our nervousness, which is actually uh, a part of the differences or the similarities of the live virtual tour guiding versus the physical guiding that most of the guys here do. And of course, at the heart of this webinar is managing a live virtual tour. What are the applications that we use here in our in the virtual tour guiding, and what are other elements that involved in managing a live virtual tour, and of course engaging with the virtual tourist. I will help you. How will you now be engaging? How will you make your experience very enticing and interesting? And of course, with the use of the enhancers, which I will be speaking here at the fourth bullet, enhancing the virtual tour experience. So I have prepared some of the enhancers that includes the photos or even the video. So later on, I will also be sharing those with you. And I'm pretty sure most of you is also excited to know how will you be able to earn, okay, from the virtual tour guiding. So it's not just me who will be talking until the end of the tour, but also I will be sharing with you a video, okay, of my colleagues and some of my virtual tourists who attest that they do like and love the live virtual tour guiding experience that they've had with me. And just to share it with you, the learning objectives, I have come up with 4. Okay, first, learn the techniques on managing a live or virtual tour. So at the end of the session, I hope that you must have been learned, okay, these techniques that I will be discussing so that you may also be able to come up with your own live or virtual tour. If not, together with your colleagues in your association or maybe with some of your classmates for your practicums for our students who are here with us today. All right? And second, build a positive mindset amid this crisis. You know, I myself, I would like to be very honest to you. Even myself was so down. Okay, I have this anxiety when the lockdown started here in the Philippines, and the last tour that I had was March 10, if March 10. So I had like a small group of tourists from Europe and even from the United States. It's a combined group tour here in the Philippines where I was able to also connect with them until now. But I also know that most of the tour guides, if not all of the tour guides, are actually down. So this particular workshop can actually build, okay, add this optimism to them and of course to you participants amid this crisis, amid this pandemic. And another important objective of this webinar is acquire a new and innovative skill. All right, so I will be teaching you, hopefully you must have been acquired this new set of skills, this hard skill for yourselves to also be able to come up with your own live virtual tour guiding experience, of course, online. But not just that. So let me just also say to you a disclaimer that this is not to change the physical guiding that we do. Okay, this won't never try to replace the virtual guiding that guides do. Okay, but rather to just add up a skill, upgrade their skill to answer, okay, to answer the pandemic, so as to continue our passion for tour guiding, our love for our country. Okay, and lastly, provide an alternative mode of earning while keeping the passion for tour guiding. So later on, I will also be sharing with you how was I able to come up with a certain amount of money for myself, and maybe I will try to answer, is that sustainable enough for a guide like me and even for some other guides that are also present right now. So I would also like to acknowledge the presence of some of the V guides we have in the Philippines. We have Shekinah, we have Miss Grail, the president of the Baguio guys. We also have Adrian Fernandez and Maki Cruz, and of course my friend in the Visayas, PG Guba and Miss Mel. And of course, I won't, I should not be forget. I should not forget the presence, of course, of my colleagues in the World Federation of Tourist Guides Association, especially Miss Hani of Iran. Okay, so moving on, I think we're ready for our first Zoom, Paul. Okay, so Ali.
Okay, so we are going to do a Zoom poll. At this point, 5 minutes into the workshop, how confident are you to do a virtual tour on your own? Please click your answer on the Zoom and we will share the results with you in a few minutes time.
Yeah, so please be very honest. It's okay if you're not really that confident enough. But you know, the purpose of this is just to assess what you're thinking or what are your thoughts right now before I continue, before I start the actual module that I will be presenting. Thank you, Ali, for helping me out with this.
No problem. So
Okay.
we have about 60% of the votes in right
Mhm.
now, and we are going to end the poll
Okay. I'm pretty
and
sure
share
your
the
colleague
result.
there is all right.
So right now, we do have a certain percentage that are very confident about doing the
Wow.
Western tour right now by yourself. We have more majority are somewhat confident, and 31% are not confident at all. Of course, there's 11% that have absolutely no idea and don't know, but that's okay. We are all here to learn. So
Yes.
this was our first poll. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will pop back next time with our next poll. James, back to you.
Okay. Thank you, Ali. Okay. So that's a great number right now that we have. So it's just okay if most of our participants are not that quite confident enough, perhaps, so far at this moment. So to continue our discussion, to continue our module, okay, I am now sharing with you the tourist life cycle. So where were we before the pandemic? Okay, are we at the first segment? So we have five segments, or we have five portions of the life of the or the of the tourist life cycle. We have the dream and discover, which is the first stage. Okay, here at this stage, they of course, based on the words that you see here, they come up. They wanted to come up with their vacation, and after that they must have been planned, or they jump onto the second segment, which is the planning stage, and compare their plans to something else or to somewhere else. And then after, they must now book, okay, their vacations. Okay, maybe through Airbnb, online, or direct to the websites of the airlines. And jumping on to the fourth stage, which is the travel stage, wherein us guides like me gives the service that was assigned to us by the travel operators or the tour operators. And after which, we jump to the return and share stage. So as you can see, this life cycle just circles, goes, or just goes on and on. Okay, but before the pandemic, the tourists or the tour guides are here at the segment number 4. Okay, but now, are we still at number 4? Our tour guides are still at number 4. What do you think? Definitely not. Okay, because with live virtual tour guiding, and with the current situation that we have, most of the people cannot go out, and even the tourists, there are no tours, there are no tourists, meaning no work for tour guides. So if you just stay at home, we can actually bring you the destinations. Okay, so with that, we are now jumping on to the first segment. So again, guides now are jumping onto the first segment, where us guides help our tourists dream about our cities, about our sites, about our country. We help them discover these stunning sites that we have, for them to realize, okay, appreciate, okay, our countries, our cities where we belong, our sites that we present to them, and help them plan and compare. So you see, we are now being the ambassadors of the country through this virtual tour guiding. Okay, we help promote our cities. We help promote our country through this platform that we have devised. So, from segment number 4, jumping on to segment number 1, which is the first thing that a tourist would do. And definitely, hopefully, when they come visit our cities, they will also be able to see us welcoming them at the fourth segment. And the experience, again, will repeat itself. So that's the role of the tour guides during the pandemic. While we are still here at our homes, we cannot go out. So we are at segment number 1. Now, I am ready to share with you what is a virtual tour guide, and how is it different from a virtual or a live virtual tour guide. Okay, so from the virtual tourism perspective, So virtual tourism is the use of technology to artificially enhance or create a tourism experience. So you see these words, artificially enhancing or creating, okay, something for the tourist. Of course, virtually. So it is the experience that we create here. Okay, again, it is the tourism experience that we create with this virtual tour guiding. Okay. Now, if before tour guides use significant gestures, okay, we have to point out something that we are describing. We also use sometimes we also use lapels, okay, especially if we are outdoors. Some guides also promote whisper tours like this one, and the use of the physical photo so that our tourists, our physical tourists would have a better picture of what we are trying to describe or to share. And even I myself, I also use photos whenever I do a guiding here in the Philippines. But now we can actually do it at the comforts of our homes, even in a coffee shop, even outside. Okay. Sometimes I also do it in the kitchen. Of course, with the use of your computers or laptops, with your headsets as well, okay, at the comforts of your homes. Okay, so now let's define what a virtual tour guide is. So a virtual tour guide is a professional. So I use the word here professional, okay, as a noun, who uses the technology to artificially enhance or create a tourism experience. Okay, but a virtual tour guide can actually do a recorded version, meaning even I myself can record myself and play this experience to my virtual tourist. But I promote here doing it live, okay? Doing it live. So I call myself now a live virtual tour guide. Why live? Okay, you might be wondering why live. Because we are promoting two-way interaction here. Okay, we would want to have like an interaction, real-time interaction with our virtual tourists, okay, which is actually absent with those that you watch if you just watch YouTube videos, for example. Okay, so that rapport that we do in the physical guiding can actually be complemented, still be done with this live virtual tour guiding. So that's the difference. That's one of the main differences of a live virtual tour guiding to those that we see or watch over YouTube or in the social media. Because with social media, you just watch, okay, you appreciate, that's fine, but no interaction. Perhaps the interaction part would be the people would tend to comment or type in their comments or questions at the chat box or there at the comment box, but the real-time face-to-face questions cannot even be given by the host or by the guide. But again, here with live virtual tour guide, we promote rapport, we promote interaction, even if we are using or we are here online. Okay, so now we are ready to identify the differences between the face-to-face guiding versus the virtual guiding. Okay, so social interaction. With social interaction during the face-to-face guiding, of course, it is humongous. Okay, the social interaction is very high. Okay, let me just give you some of the refresher topics in guiding. Okay, tour guides has this responsibility to what? Okay, what is the main responsibility of the tour guides? Okay, let me ask you, especially those guys who are present right now. You may just type in your answers at the chat box. So let me see if you are if you can still remember. Okay, the the techniques or the theories that has been taught to us by our mentors, by the tourism ministries, and even by some of your tourism instructors or faculty. So again, what is the main responsibility of tour guides whenever they handle tourists? Okay, I'm seeing on the chat box, we have Tessie Grail answered safety and security. Okay. Roxanne answered good rapport and effective communication. All right. Nika Dek, okay, answered. Okay, sorry. Create excitement. Okay. Adrienne answered safety. Alicia answered destination knowledge. Okay, good. Hani answered balance between information and entertainment. Wow, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with your answers. But definitely, all your answers are correct. But the main reason or the main responsibility of the guide is actually safety. Okay. Do you agree? Do you agree with me? It's safety of the tourist. Okay. And of course, entertainment, giving the balance of entertainment and information follows through. Okay. Simultaneously together. Absolutely safety. Okay. With physical guiding, safety is there. But with virtual tour guiding, okay, safety is absent. Okay. We are we are not really that responsible for their safety because we are at our homes doing our offering our virtual tour experience, and even our tourists are at the comforts of their homes or in their beds or in their living rooms watching, listening to us guides presenting our destinations. So safety is there in the physical guiding, yes, but with virtual guiding, safety is actually absent unless you also take this or include this safety part in your commentary, that they really have to be very careful whenever they watch you, or throughout the duration of them seeing or watching you, so that they will be able to be very safe during your experience or during your commentary or the experience that you're offering. Okay, so social interaction. Another is freedom and flexibility. Okay, with physical guiding, definitely we are intact with the program that we have bought from the travel agencies or from the tour operators. Here, with virtual guiding, we are also set with a, we can also set schedule wherein the virtual tourists can sign up, can register. So these factors are actually the similarities with regards to the freedom and flexibility. But if we're talking about the comfort, okay, the comfort of the virtual tourist, okay, they are actually more comfortable with the virtual tour guiding experience. Why? Because they can just watch you, like what I was saying earlier, in their beds or even in their living rooms or wherever they are during your live virtual tour experience. So I also remember I had one tourist from Mindanao, from the southern part of the Philippines. While I was doing this live virtual tour experience, this virtual tourist was actually cooking. Okay, so imagine how flexible that is. And even some I see um, whenever they show themselves on screen or on their cameras, they are in a coffee shop, or some are actually inside their cars. So the flexibility is there whenever we offer this live virtual tour guiding. Okay, another is economic impact. So now I am showing you, okay, this facts based from the World Travel and Tourism Council, okay, that wherein in 2019, 3,300 million jobs were generated or have contributed to globally, okay. So 1 out of 10 jobs are with with the tourism, okay? And we contribute 10.3% of the global economy. So that is with the physical guiding, because with physical guiding, okay, we actually, the travel agency would give us guides the program, and then we deliver. And then this travel agency will now pay taxes to the government and us guides as well. We pay taxes. But with virtual tour guiding, okay, definitely we don't yet, okay, because we just aligned our, how do I call this, payables here in the Philippines specifically. We of course pay with, we have to pay for the internet connection. We have to pay for example, for the Zoom premium account. So these internet providers will now contribute their taxes to the government. Okay, but us, basically as virtual tour guides, there's really not that significant, no significant contribution to to uh, to the economy. So that's the difference between the physical guiding and the live virtual tour guiding in terms of the contribution of the guys in the global economy. Okay, and another, virtual tours cost less. But not only that, virtual tours most of the time are actually free. Okay, when during the first few months that I offered this live virtual tour guiding, I offered this service free to my tourists. Okay, and subsequently, okay, we are currently, now we are trying to adopt with the current situation when we're in, based on based on our experiences doing this live virtual tours. The tourists are actually happy and capable or willing to pay for live virtual tour experiences. So that's also the reason why right now our group is currently coming up with a price experience for the tourists to pay. But definitely in the next few days or weeks, we will be able to come up with this price or costing of the live virtual tour experience. All right? So virtual tours cost less. And lastly, one of the most important, okay, guiding techniques, modification. Okay, what are these techniques that us guides have in ourselves that can be adopted or can be used during the live virtual tour guiding? Okay, let's start with the nervousness. Okay, or managing or handling the nervousness. With physical guiding, we are taught to manage our nervousness. Because even I myself, if I have tourists who are VIPs, even even if before I even see them, I get nervous. I'm very honest to that. But in the field, when they're already there in face to face, in front of me, and I doing the live commentary or the commentary itself, that nervousness has actually been slowing down. Okay, same goes with the live virtual guiding. Our nervousness is also managed, okay, based on what we have learned from our tourism organizations or with our associations. But with the live virtual guiding, I would say it is less, okay? The tension of nervousness is less because we are actually just facing our laptops with our guides at the other side, virtually, of course. So the tension is being lessened. So that's one of the fruits of live virtual guiding that I may say. Another is rapport. Very important. Rapport is something that a guide has to embody or has to have whenever he or she handles tourists, whether it is on the physical guiding or in live virtual guiding. Because this technique, this rapport that we have, that we are taught by our tourism organization, can get the attention, okay, definitely get the attention of our tourists. Because if there's no rapport, they might just leave the meeting room and just do their thing. Okay, same goes with the physical guiding. There should have like a rapport. There should be a connection. Okay. Of course, you have to have like this heart. Okay. You have to use your heart. Be very humble and very honest to yourself. Okay. With that. And another is the use of your smiles. Of course, with physical guiding, you do smile. Okay. And even with live virtual guiding, you also need to smile. All right. Of course, with live virtual guiding, you also need to also apply your TVPs, okay? Your guiding techniques like you with the TVPs where you have to identify what are the must tells, what are the should tells, and what are the could tells. And of course, the backbone of your commentary, the KISS, or keep it simple as that. Okay, so that those are some of the guiding techniques modification that we also do here in live virtual guiding. So just to give you a short story, how did I came up? How did I come up with this particular innovation? March this year, I was so down, and I was actually thinking of how will I able to sustain myself. Okay, and we are so glad that the Department of Tourism continuously gives a number or even dozens of tourism-related webinars where I have attended. And whenever I attend those webinars, I also see myself in in the in the in the screen of the speaker. So that's also the reason why can't we why will I not do it via Zoom? This guiding that I have, this passion that I have. So that's the reason why I have come up. I have integrated Zoom with the Google Street View. So later on, I will also be teaching you with Google Street View, which is the heart of a live or virtual guiding. So the story, my story that I have just shared with you, can be found here on my website. You can just click on type in lifeofaTourguide.com, and some of the tourism related articles that I have published can also be found there. Okay, Ali?
Hi, I'm back with poll number 2, ladies and gentlemen. So this poll is going to be quite interesting. It is a true or false poll that tests you on your knowledge of what we've just learned. So whether or not you've been listening, we will know now. Please start clicking your answers, whether it's true or false to each question. And fastest fingers first. So our first question is, the virtual tour experience costs more than the actual tour experience. True? False? Second question, you don't need to establish rapport during the live tour. True or false? Third question, you need to smile during the live tour. True or false? Fourth question, in the tourist life cycle, the tour guides are still at the fourth stage, travel experience. True or false? Fifth question, and this will be our last question for this poll. So if you haven't answered, please start answering now. For the fifth question, professional live virtual tour guides use technology to artificially enhance the tourism experience. Is this true or is this false? Okay, so we are going to wait until we have 50% of the votes. So I'm going to give you 10 more seconds to vote true or false in this poll. Okay. And we have exactly 65% respondents already.
Wow.
So we're going to end the poll now. Thank you very much, guys, for participating in our true or false quiz. And we're going to share the results. James, do you want to take us through the answers?
Oh yeah. So for the first one, virtual tour experience costs more than the actual tour experience. Well, in fact, virtual tour costs actually less. So the answer is definitely false. Okay. So second, you don't need to establish rapport during the live virtual tour. So like what I mentioned earlier, still rapport should be there should also be a rapport whenever we do live virtual guiding. So the answer is false. And you need to smile. Of course, definitely we really need to smile during the live tour. So if a guide doesn't smile, oh my God, I can imagine. And in the tourist life cycle, tour guides are still in the fourth stage. I would say the answer is no, false. Why? Because like earlier, I've mentioned that us guides now during the pandemic is now gearing towards the first stage where we help our tourists discover or dream our sites and our country. Okay, but again, if we resume our on our work going back to the fourth stage. Okay, and lastly, professional live tour guides use technology is definitely true. Good, good number, Ali.
Okay, so most of us got the questions right, except for number four. That's very interesting. So we're going to stop sharing our poll right now, and James, you can continue on to the workshop.
Right.
Thank you very much, guys, for participating in our poll.
Thank you, Ali. So going back, I am now to discuss with you the elements of a live virtual tour experience. So we have actually, I have identified 5 elements. So first, we have the device. Okay, in terms of using your device for you to be able to come up with your own live virtual tour, my recommendation is to use your personal computers, okay, or laptops, because you will be needing, okay, your mouse, okay, to navigate our application that we will be using. So later, I will also be navigating, hovering to Google Street View, so you can also have a better picture, a clear picture on how we do, or how I do Google Street View. All right, but some of our V guides here in the Philippines use tablets, tablets and even mobile phones. But again, my most recommended device to use is laptops and your personal computers. All right, next. So that's device. Second, of course, internet. Okay, we cannot offer, okay, we cannot do a live virtual tour experience if there is no internet connection. Well, those companies that I am showing you right now are the companies or the internet providers here in the Philippines, and I'm pretty sure in your own countries you all have some of your internet providers. Well, here in the Philippines, sadly, we do not have that. Uh, how do I say it? The best or even a better internet speed. I will be very honest to that. And even I know some of the countries like even Iran, if I'm not mistaken, also experience a low internet connection. But this our government right now is doing their best to come up with or to tap this company to speed up, okay, the internet connection, because right now there is actually a surge, okay, according to the records, there is a surge of the internet usage, not just here in our country, but globally. Okay, so internet is one of the elements that you have to have whenever you offer a live virtual tour experience. Next is, of course, your platform. So when I say platform, this is the application that we will be using, which will serve as the channel or the bridge, bridging us as guides to our virtual tourists. So for example, here in this webinar, the platform that we use is Zoom. Okay, same with the live virtual tour guiding, we will also be using Zoom. You see how interesting it is. So Zoom will now be the platform that will be, but apart from also a Microsoft TeamViewer or even Cisco WebEx. You can also use Skype sometimes. I also use Skype, okay? And do you also know that we can also use some of the applications that are present in our social media accounts? Even Facebook, okay, Facebook Live, or even Instagram Live, or Google Hangouts. So these are some of the platforms that we can use. Of course, depending on the country, depending on the market, depending on your target audience, but globally, Zoom ranks first on the usage of these similar platforms. That's why we will be using Zoom to promote your countries and bring your cities or countries to the world. Okay. And fourth, we have the audio. The audio is very important. Okay. All right. The audio is very important because this is where your commentary will take place. Okay, we'll get into the action. Okay, guides is guys are the best people to be an audio of the experience, being or doing it live as well. Okay, so even a teacher can also be an audio, but an audio can also be recorded. Okay, it can also be recorded. But since we promote rapport, we promote two-way communication, okay, real time with our virtual tourists, we promote live audio, which is our voice. Okay, so from our voices, we share the information that we have about the site and even the entertainment. Okay, the combination of information and entertainment. So the balance of information or infotainment as so we speak. Okay, so lastly, the visuals. Okay, visuals are very important because this will actually answer uh, the interest, okay, of our virtual tourist. Okay, you need to have like visually heavy photos, visually heavy videos for us to get their attention. Okay, so what are the visuals that I am talking about that we can use? We can use the physical photos and then just show it on Zoom. Like example here, I have the photo of a site and then you can just show it. So that's one that we can use. And we can also play videos real time. Okay, you can also use YouTube. But my recommendation is for us, okay, to use the odd. Okay, my recommendation is the Google Street View. Okay, so Google Street View is actually a baby of Google Maps. So later on, I will also be sharing with you how the emergence of Google Street View over the internet. Okay, so I think my voice now is better. Thank you for thank you for that. Now, if we combine all these elements together, okay, the audio, the internet, the device, and of course the platform together with the visuals that we have, we will now be able to offer a live virtual tour experience, okay, or an experience that is memorable to our live virtual tourists. So remember, we have the audio, the internet, the device, the platform, and the visuals. Okay. All right. So going back to Ali for our another poll.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, poll number 3. It is also going to be another true or false poll about the segment that we just learned. So we're going to launch the poll now. Once again, fastest fingers first. Please start answering the question so we can get as many of your answers in as possible. And let's start. So, true or false? Smartphones can be used to give virtual tours. True? False? Number 2, Google Street View is one of the best tools as visuals in virtual tour guiding. True or false? Number 3, still photos cannot be used as an additional visual for the virtual tour experience. True or false? Number 4, a recorded voiceover can't be an audio for the virtual tour experience. True or false? Number 5, Instagram can be used as a platform for the live virtual tour. Is that true or false? So we have 5 questions once again, asking you if things are true or false. Please read carefully as you answer and click as fast as you can. So we have we're going to wait until we get 70% of all the votes in before we close the poll. And that's going to happen now. So we're closing the poll now. And we're going to share the results with you. James, would you like to take us through the answers?
Okay, thank you, Ali, for that. So first, smartphones can be used to give virtual tour experience. So earlier I have mentioned, yes, we can use our smartphones to give a live virtual tour experience, especially if we wanted to give or to go in an actual site. So definitely we can use our smartphones, but the most recommended devices are your laptops and your personal computers. Next, Google Street View is one of the best tools or as visuals in virtual tour guiding. So definitely that's true. Okay, third, still photos cannot be used as an additional visual for the virtual tour experience. So earlier I've shown you an example. Okay, so the answer is false, but because we can actually use still photos. All right, we can show that to our tourists. Okay, next, a recorded voiceover can't or cannot be an audio for the virtual tour experience. So definitely false because we can also record our voice, but for the purpose of this advocacy of the live virtual tour guiding, we will be using our voices live. Okay, and lastly, Instagram can be used as a platform for the live virtual tour. So definitely the answer is true. Okay, because I also use this Instagram live with some of my virtual tours in other parts of the world. So there you go. Thank you, Ali. Salamat.
Okay, thank you very much. That was our true or false poll. So we are now halfway through the workshop. James, back to you.
All right. So let me.
James, could you share your screen again?
Yes. Okay. I will. All right. Now we are ready to also go to the core of our webinar, which is the technical part of using Google Street View. So I am now ready to share with you my insights or my expertise with with Google Street View. So what is Google Street View? Just to give you a quick background of Google.
James, we can't hear you. Did you accidentally mute yourself?
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
It's very soft right now.
Oh, hold on. Let me just fix my audio. Okay, can you hear me now? Yes?
Okay, now it's okay.
Yeah, it's now clear? Okay, sorry for that. All right, anyway, going back to our discussion. Okay, so Google Street View, this is the platform that we use for us to give a live virtual tour guiding experience. All right, so Google Street View is a baby of Google Maps. Okay, so 2007 when it was 2007 when Google has announced to the world that they will be recording, they will be exploring all the streets in the world. So imagine, 10 years after, not 2017, Street View was launched globally, and we have right now, according to Google, we have around 70% of all the streets available have already can now be seen online. So that's a Google Street View. All right. So just to share with you, moving on, just to share with you the parts of Google Maps where we will be starting on with the use of, before we jump into the use of Google Street View, we have three parts. We have here on the upper left-hand side of your screen, we have the search engine. There you will be typing the site that you would want your tourists to see or you would want to show them, okay? Another is the viewing engine. Okay, so with the viewing engine, that's only we only have two views. we have the satellite view or the maps view. So now I am showing to you the
James, your audio dropped off again. James, come back.
I'm fixing, sorry. Okay, let me fix first.
Hi, welcome back. Okay, I still can't hear you. Hang on. Could you say something?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. It's a
Can you
little
see
bit
that?
soft.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's clear.
Okay,
Okay.
it's
Do you
now
want to
it's now
reshare your
clear.
screen again? Sorry about the technical issues, guys.
All right. So going back.
James is a little bit too soft for some of our participants.
Okay, so maybe I just have to move
Now
my
it's okay.
my mic. All right.
Now it's okay. Now it's
So,
good. Now this
all right.
sounds good.
Apology for the technical difficulty that I'm having here. But yeah, moving on. So again, we have three segments. So earlier I have mentioned we have the search engine, okay, where you will be typing the site that you would want to show. Okay, we have the viewing engine. So with the viewing engine, we only have like two uh, two uh, two uh, two the satellite view and the maps view. So for the purpose of this live virtual tour guiding experience, we will be using satellite view later on. Okay, and lastly, we have the navigation engine. So here at the navigation engine, it's very important that you remember the parts, okay, that that are found here at the navigation engine. If you can see, we have there the images wherein street view is indicated in the photosphere, okay, images, street view, and photosphere. And on the on the lower right-hand side of the screen, you can also see a yellow icon, okay, which is called the Pegman. So why do I sharing Pegman with you? Because Pegman will be the heart of the Google Street View for you to give the live virtual tour experience and to be able to also walk through your virtual tourist, okay, to your virtual tourist to that particular experience. Okay, so I am now gliding you to Pegman, the icon. So there. So let me just jump into another slide wherein I will now be showing to you the actual Google Street View. Okay. All right. So for example, okay, do you now see my screen? Yes, I assume that you see now my screen. So for example, you would want to show your virtual tourist, okay, a site. Example, I will be showing one of the most visited tourist attractions in our city here in Baguio, which is Burnham Park. Okay, so you just type in you just have to type in Burnham Park at the upper left-hand side of the screen, which is the search engine. Okay, and then click OK. All right. So again, it's really the internet connection that is our enemy here. So there. So instantly, Google Maps will show you this photo. So it depends on how you would want to show, or depending on your commentary, you may just zoom in the images or even zoom out. So before I also show, uh, I show a maps view of the country first, and then I zoom in to the sites so that so that my tourists will have this idea of the geographical location of that particular site. Okay, So let's go back to Burnham Park. So Burnham Park is again one of the tourist attractions in Baguio City. So if now you would want now to walk through your virtual tourist in the actual park. So how will you do that? Now, we will now be using Pegman. Okay, so again, Pegman is found at the lower right hand side of your screen. Okay, so here, that's also the reason why you need to have your mouse, because if you use Pegman here, if you click Pegman, the blue lines will appear. Okay, do you see blue lines there? Do you see the blue lines? Yes, I'm pretty sure you do. Okay, so those blue lines now are the navigable streets on Google Street View. Meaning, if you zoom it out like this, so these blue lines are the streets that are recorded by Google and uh, for the internet users. So even you can also check if your houses along the way can be viewed here on Google Street View. But for the benefit of this webinar, you just have to click Pegman. Okay, I'm now clicking Pegman. I'm pretty sure you're now seeing Pegman. So whenever or based on the destination or the spot that you would want to show your tourists, if you navigate Pegman on those blue lines, you will see on you will see that there are thumbnails that are shown. Okay, so these thumbnails are now this thumbnail will be the actual site or the actual image that the Google will be showing to you. Okay, so example, we now release Pegman, and then instantly Google Street View will show you this image. Okay, so based on this image, you can actually now do simultaneously your commentary. So with this image, okay, found at Google Street View, you can do a 360 navigation, okay, of that particular spot, okay, like this one, okay, or another is you can actually walk through your tourist, like this one. Okay, so by doing this, you are now giving a walking tour to your tourist. Okay, and then of course, while doing that, you have to complement that with your commentaries. Okay, this commentaries should be practiced. So later on, I will also be teaching the commentaries to be blended with Google Street View. All right. So you can actually jump into another site from from the park we can another to another site. You just have to go back to the search engine so that again, segment again. And for example, you would want to Session Road or another site, then you will do so. Way. Okay, so we are now, as you can see, this pink said, church, okay, is one of the most visited spots here in our city, okay, which stand tall during the World War II. So 60 degrees all through your tourist. Now, you might be wondering, is it just you can well, definitely not, because you can even go inside. For example, you would you want to go inside this church, okay, you just have click Pegman again.
James, I feel like we can hear the rain coming in Philippines. Is there a
Yeah.
storm on the way? The audio right now is quite bad. We can barely hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Could you
Okay.
maybe plug in your headphones and plug it out again? And
Okay,
let's
I'll
try.
do that. Okay, do you hear me now? I think it's better.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
sorry. Yes, sorry, I'm switching. I'm switching the earpiece with the speaker here on my laptop. So apology once again. So thank you, Ali, for reminding.
no
So
problem.
maybe, all right. So going back, okay. So that happens even with the live virtual tour guiding. That happens. The technicalities and difficulties that we have, apart from the internet connection. So going back, earlier I have shown with you the facade of the cathedral or the church. So the question here is, can we also navigate what's inside the church? Well, I may say yes, as long as it is available with Google Street View. Okay, now how will we do that? Okay, again, you have to use Google Pegman. Okay, and of course you have to also have this knowledge on the location of that site. So I am now hovering Pegman on top of the cathedral or the church. Now for us to go inside, or for us to show what's inside the cathedral or the church, we just need to release Pegman on the circles or the spheres. So if you see, apart from the blue lines, you also see some circles, blue circles, okay? So these circles are the photospheres, okay? So for us to go for us to show what's inside the church, you just have to release Peg.
James, your audio just died. Can't hear you. But the inside of the church is really interesting. I never knew we could go into buildings on Google Street View.
Sorry for
Still can't hear you.
okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, but very soft.
Okay. Hold on.
Can't hear you at all now. Still can't hear you. The internet is truly both a blessing and a curse right now. Um, no, I can't hear you.
Do you now hear me?
Now
Yes.
you're back. You're
Hello.
back. Welcome back.
Oh, this is something that needs to worked out. But anyway, apology once again. But I'm trying my best to really come up with the best audio. But anyway, so going back with what's inside the cathedral. Thank you, Ali, that you like the cathedral, what's inside the cathedral. So there you go. We are now inside the cathedral. So again, let me repeat how did I do that? You use Pegman, okay? And then you just have to place Pegman on top of a sphere, okay? And then you will see the thumbnail. And then instantly, it will show you what's inside. So there you go. Now, you might be wondering the arrow that is shown on your screen on Google Street View. So this arrow can now be a walkthrough. If you want your tourists to see the facade again, you need not to go back to the Google Maps, but rather you can now walk through and just follow this arrow and click. Okay. And of course, while you're doing this, you have to complement this with your commentary. Okay, your practiced commentary. All right. So now we are back with the facade of the cathedral. All right. So it seems like it's very easy. You see, it seems like it's very easy, but you know, if you do it simultaneously, it takes really courage and time for someone to do that. All right. So that's the Google Street View. So if you do have questions, just type in your questions with our Q&A, and then later on, Althea and the rest of our colleagues in the Pata Youth Headquarters will be able to also gather your questions, and I will be able to answer those later on. All right, so now I will be switching back to the presentation. We will now be moving on to the next module. Okay. So if you feel that it's like a quick, uh, do you now see my presentation? I think I'm now back with the slides. Yeah. All right. So again, if you feel that, of course, with the Google Street View navigation, it's quite quick. But if so, you would also want to have a separate session with that. Just let me know later on. I will also be flashing my social media account so we can get connected. So we are now ready to share with you how we prepare na the live virtual tour. But before that, I think we'll now have another poll, Ali.
Okay, so now we're going to do poll number 4. So poll number 4 is no longer a true or false poll, and there's only one
Yeah.
question. So I hope all of you can see the poll, which should pop up on your screen right now, and you can answer. So what is the first thing to be considered in preparing a live virtual tour? What is the first thing that you will prepare?
Yeah. Okay, so perhaps some our participants are now thinking which one.
So
It's actually a tricky question.
you can choose between 3 things: the tour type, the
Mhm.
commentary, or the
Yes.
profile of the tourist. I wonder what everyone would choose. Oh, it's a close fight between 2 of the options.
No, really.
So we
Okay.
currently have 60% of our participants who've already voted. We're going to give it a little bit longer for the rest of our participants to contribute their answers and what they think. And we're going to close the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And poll. Okay, so now we're going to share the results. And we have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. So 50% of you think that the tour type is the first thing to be considered when preparing for a live virtual tour. James, is that the right answer?
Oh, well, I was actually expecting that it would be the tour type who will become the winner of this poll. But you know, if you are already geared up with this guiding, of course, the first thing that you have to do is to uh, to come up with that one. But definitely, the answer is the tourist. Okay, the profile of the tourist. That's the first thing that you have to consider first. Okay, the profile of the tourist. Why? Because if you already determine, okay, if you already determine your target tourist, from here, you will now be able to navigate, okay, or to explore how you will be presenting, or how will you will be or how you will be setting up the mood, okay, of your uh, of your live virtual tour presentation. Okay, so once you determine your target tourists, of course, if there are foreigner or foreign tourists you have signed up with your live virtual tour experience, okay, you are now able to determine which language to use, what mood you will be using. For example, if you have like students, okay, virtual students. Of course, the mood would be like very light. And now, and if you also know that your tourists are VIPs or professionals or high-ranking officials, well, definitely your mood will gonna change, wherein you have to also be very professional with the way you speak, the way you deliver your commentary. And one most important as well is the use of links and hooks. Okay, this is very important because entice on their experiences, the pro that you prioritize first, the pro first. Hold on. Let me uh let me fix it. Okay, I think I'm back. Yes? I think I'm back. Yes. All right. Thank you. I keep on checking the the features of Zoom here on my screen. So apology for that. But thank you for reminding me. Yeah, technicalities really. All right. So determining your target tour is the first one. First thing that you have to do. And next is once you already decide tourist, now you are ready to decide the tour type. Okay? You are now ready to decide which tour type you can offer for your tourist. Okay? We have a number of tour types. We have city tour. We also have like a museum, countryside tour, or specialty tour. So it depends on the type of tour that you will be offering. So I remember, uh, okay, let me just switch on to the audio. I think that's okay now. All right. So yes, I will be fixing this for you. Apology. All right. So one of our guides here in the Philippines, PG Guba, who's also present right now, had a chocolate making tour, chocolate making virtual tour. She has done a series of chocolate tour here in the Philippines, and it's a specialty tour that targets a different market, especially students and even baby boomers. They also target those audience. So depending again on the type of tour, you will base your commentary. And of course, you also have to prepare the tour script. Okay, the tour script is very important because it will tell you, okay, the length of the commentary allotted, right? What tourists will see, and the audio. What will you be including in your commentary? So based on the tour script, okay, perhaps you will have to also research, okay, and prepare the visuals that you will be presenting. Okay, so tour script serves as a guide. So later I will also be coming up with another separate discussion with the tour script. And definitely you have to practice your script, okay? Practice it based on the script, practice your commentary, practice the experience based on the script using the applications and visual simultaneously. And very important is recording yourself. You have to record yourself so you can have your self-assessment, what went wrong or what went right. Okay. And another, include enhancers. So enhancers are the supporting tangibles or intangibles you need to enhance the virtual tour experience. So one example of the tangibles that I'm referring is the physical photo. So this is one of the enhancers. You can also use the physical photo example, this photo, and show it to your virtual tourist and do your commentary. Another is example, if you have like a physical souvenir with you. Example, this is one of the souvenirs that can be bought there in Merlion or in Bangkok streets. So you can show the actual souvenir item, okay, and then do your commentary and link and hook this with your virtual tourist. And of course, definitely setting the time and date is very important because you need to also
secure the internet connection here. Because example here in our city, because we are located 1,500 meters above sea level in the mountain area, uh, it rains it rains in the afternoon, okay, almost every day. So it's not best for us to actually give or set the time and date if it's in the afternoon, wherein it can actually affect, okay, the internet connection, and we don't want any interruption whenever we do an actual live virtual uh, tour for our virtual tourists. And lastly, market the virtual tour. You can market your virtual tour starting with your friends, okay, through social media. It's free online, it's free. So you can also use a text brigade if you already have like a list of your friends. And you can also do an email blast if you have like a listing of the emails based on your previous engagements with your colleagues or with your associations. So marketing the virtual tour with social media is now very easy. Okay, now jumping on to the segments of a virtual tour, we have four parts. We have the introduction, we have the body and notes, and the question and answer portion. Okay, so the introduction will take around 5 minutes, okay, while the body will take around 30 minutes. So if you remember earlier, I remember on my introduction, I did this introduction telling myself, telling my name to my tourists, and also acknowledging them. So it's also important if in the introduction you acknowledge your virtual tourists, because most of the time you will be handling a short group for you to come up with a better rapport, because a large number of group would be would be problematic in the near future whenever you do that. And then the body, this is now the content, okay, of your comment, the content wherein the commentary is executed together with the visuals that you will be showing, of course, with the use of Google Street View and other visuals that we have mentioned earlier with the elements. And also important is the end notes. Okay, here you thank them. Okay, and after thanking them, you also invite them. That you have to tell them, you tell them, once we resume, once the flights, once the transportation has resumed, we are happy to welcome you, okay, here in our city or in our country. So that end notes would actually convince them somehow to go to your city after this live virtual tour experience that you have offered. And definitely very important is the question and answer portion. Okay, so again, because we want to offer an interaction with them, this is the time where you invite them to open their cameras or audio, if not their cameras, and invite questions. Or even prior to the introduction, you can actually tell them that if they do have questions during your commentary, they can just type in their questions, and then later you will be able to, later you answer after the tour. So that's also the purpose why we have allotted 5 minutes there. So you might also be wondering, so it's only 45 minutes. Okay, so why Sir James, why is it just 40 or 45 minutes? Because 40 minutes or 45 minutes is the only free account for Zoom or in Zoom. Okay, because if you exceeds 40 minutes, you now need to pay a premium account, which will give you a longer time for you to come up with your tour experience or virtual tour experience. Okay, but if you cannot afford yet to buy your premium account, because with Zoom the premium account starts at 30 US dollars. Okay, that will give you at around maximum of 100 virtual tourists in real time in one sitting. $30, I think, here in the Philippines, $30 is quite expensive, but you can actually even use the basic, okay, or the free Zoom. where it will offer 40 minutes. Now, in your introduction, because after 40 minutes, you will be cut. Okay, definitely you will be cut. Now, the most important thing that you have to do if you know that you will be cut, okay, you tell to your virtual tourist that if in case, if in case you get cut or disconnected, they just have to go back to the link or to the room or the meeting room, okay, so that you can continue the experience, and that's okay. All right, because I've been doing that. But of course, uh, once you already have this budget to buy a premium account, that's better. Okay, that's better because it will not discontinue the experience. It will not stop the experience itself. Okay, my suggestion, my recommendation.
Hi, James. So your audio got cut off exactly at the moment where you said my recommendation. So it was quite funny and ironic. But this segment right now, where you are actually breaking down the body of a virtual tour, what you should start with and what you should end with, is actually very interesting. Can you say something so we can hear you again? You're actually mute. You muted yourself on Zoom. So to all our workshop attendees, thank you very much for your patience, as sometimes the internet refuses to work when you really need it to work. Technical problems will always be something that we have to deal with, even more so right now as a lot of events go online. So thank you very much for your patience and for your attention during this workshop. James, are you back?
Okay, can you now hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yay. I've actually used a new one, so I think this will help.
Yes,
All right.
yes. I think the problem was the headset. So hopefully now
Yes.
we will be free of problems and smooth sailing from now onwards.
Yeah,
You can
I'm
only
hoping. Yeah, I'm hoping. Thank you, Ali. But please forgive me, my dear participants, because it really happens, and I really do apologize. I humble myself with these difficulties that we experience. But yeah, going back, my recommendation is if your association, I know if some of our participants here are tour guides, Ali. I know if you are a member of your associations, and if your association has like this budget, okay, allotted budget, then you can buy, okay, you can buy a premium account so that uh, all of your members in your association, okay, can use that premium account to offer a continuous virtual tour experience. So that's what actually the recommendation that I always tell to the participants, because like right now, we don't want any interruption. But again, I'm sorry, but yeah, you may do buy a premium account, and maybe tell your association if you also want, if you wanted to push through um, um, to offer a virtual tour experience about your cities, about your sites, about your countries, then you may do so. Okay, so that all of your members can actually um, can use that for the purpose of engaging with our tourists to the world. Okay, so that's it. So again, if you use basic, it's okay. If you use free, it's okay. Just don't forget to mention that in your introduction, that if in case you get disconnected, you just have to get back. And even yourself, you have to get back with the meeting room and then continue with your commentary. Okay? All right. So this is what a script looks like. All right. So I am sorry if most of you can barely see it, but yeah, this is the actual script that I used when we had the Cordillera, or the video that we made with some of the regional guides, my colleagues here in the Philippines. So as you see, okay, yes, it's really better. So as you see, we have the parts here on starting from the left side. We have the minutes.
okay, where you will just have to type in the duration or the length of the commentary, okay, the visuals, will it be Maps view or Google Street View. So earlier, during my introduction, you've seen me doing the actual virtual guiding. I have used Google Maps and Google Street View. Okay, I am actually, I was switching these two for the purpose of giving a good experience to the virtual tourist. And the audio now will now have the commentary. Okay, so here you will write down, you will type in your commentary based on the visuals that you will be showing. Okay, so sometimes it is also important if you will be a very specific to which or what visuals you will be showing or you will be presenting, okay, for you to be also master the navigation or doing the commentary or delivering your commentary based on the visuals as well. Okay, so if you see here, I've started with greeting them, and then I jump into the geographical facts, and then I also mentioned how the virtual tourist can go to the city, and then here on the right hand side of the screen, you may see I have used maps, the aerial view, and then Google Street View, okay, and the facade. So these are now the content or the heart of your virtual tour experience. Okay. So now, in writing the tour script, okay, you have to consider, like what we have mentioned earlier, you have to consider your tourist profile. Okay, you have to consider them first, okay, and then jump on to considering, is it interesting, okay, are the facts that I will be including in my script and my commentary are interesting enough to them. Of course, going back to the profile of your tourists, will it be interesting to them? Okay, and another priority is it visually heavy? So when we say visually heavy, is it enticing to the eyes? Okay, because you are already the audio of the experience. Now you have to complement it with those pictures, with those views on Google that are visually heavy or enticing. All right. Of course, again, going back, if it's enticing to your tourists as well. All right. And it would be best if you will be incorporating your commentary with your 5 senses. Okay, the sense of touch, your sense of smell, your sense of hear. All right, so writing the tour script. So just to give you a quick run through or rundown of writing the commentary associated with the 5 senses in writing your commentary. Of course, it's important you include the TVPs or you consider TVPs, okay, or the top visual priorities where you structure your commentaries based on your must tells, your should tells, and could tells, and describe what they see based on the KISS or keep it short and simple. And another one important lesson that you also have to remember is avoid adjectives that are irrelevant, meaningless, subjective, and repetitive. Okay, if you use the word beautiful, avoid that because that's very subjective. Again, avoid using the word beautiful. Instead, if you are referring to a mountain, you don't say a beautiful mountain, you say perhaps a stunning mountain or a marvelous mountain. So depending on how you structure your commentary. Okay? So I must have, so these are just some of the examples of the TVPs. So here you see your TVP can be the river. Okay, here the TVP can be the sky, the TVP can be the white sand, or even the cow. So depending on, again, how you structure your commentary based on the profile of your tourist. Okay, so one last thing before I give the floor to Ali for the workshop or for the writing workshop. In doing a live virtual tour, the sense of sight should always be prioritized among all the senses. Okay, so because we are offering a live virtual tour experience here. So what they see is very important. And let them imagine, okay, by closing their eyes, or for example, with the photo that I've shown you here, maybe you can invite them, okay? Maybe you want to close your eyes and feel the cold, the air of this particular site. So something like that, okay? So make them participate and make them move, okay, by using necessary gestures, by showing your 5 fingers. Of example, if you are counting, maybe you show them 5 or 4, depending on how you will be delivering your commentary. So here, maybe you would want to make your tourists smell, okay, this sumptuous food. Okay, maybe you would tell them, you will see on your screen this pizza, okay, melted on this melted on fire. So make them feel what they see. Okay, so that's just a quick run through of our session with writing the commentary. So I am now giving you back to Ali.
Okay, so originally we had planned to do this writing exercise. However, unfortunately, because we're running a little bit over time, we are going to skip this writing exercise. So we really apologize for the technical difficulties that have caused us to run over time. James, can we go straight into tips and tricks?
No problem. Because I like what I said earlier, if our participants.
Unplug your headset and plug it back
Yes.
just one time.
Yes, yes. I will. I will. All right. That's a mortal sin to me. Forgive me, all of you. All
So
right.
let's jump straight into the last section of our workshop today, tips and tricks. And after this, we will have a Q&A session for 5 to 10 minutes. So if you have any questions from this workshop, please put it into our Q&A, not the chat function. And we will see you on the other side soon.
On practical tips, definitely ensure a stable connection. Be the heart of your experience that you are offering. First, that you have to have a stable connection. And I forgive myself with secure and ensure that you have this whenever I speak in front of you. Anyway, going back, you also have to dress appropriately. Okay, you don't want your tourists to make them see you as just like a tour guide that is not professional. Again, we are offering a professional experience here as professional guides. So you also have to make sometimes I also depend on the way I dress with the tour commentary. And for example, I offer a cultural tour with students, then I dress myself with the ethnic attire, okay, in our region. So depending on how you to also get you are wearing, you can ask also make that or include that in your commentary, the ones that you are wearing, okay? Another is find a conducive working environment. So make sure you find an environment wherein or a place wherein there are no noise or interruptions. Like example, here in the Philippines, if you live in the province, then definitely there might be like some dogs in the neighborhood, and then from time to time they can bark, and your virtual tourist can hear. Ensure that is not heard. Okay. Ensure that the noise is not heard, and make sure that there are no dead. What do I mean by the dead air? Dead airs are the gaps of silence. Okay, these are the gaps of silence wherein it may affect the way the virtual tourist tourists view your of commentary or the actual experience, because they may feel that or they may also get out of the meeting room if you leave them like that without any something at all. So you have to talk continuously, okay, and there should be no dull moment. And ensure a simple yet professional background if you also want to use show if you'll be doing that in your houses or at home, and then you want to come up with a background, then and just ensure that it's really simple, not that extravagant, uh, for them to appreciate your chosen background. All right. So another is plan for backups. So this is important as well. For example, if you have kids in your house, okay, if you have kids in your house and then you are sure that they're sleeping, and then there would come a time that during your virtual tour experience, could will now need to you need to have a backup, okay? You need to back it up, and by telling your tourists that perhaps if in case someone cries, you just have to tweak in on that. But definitely you have to tell that firsthand during your introduction, that if in case there are again noises like that, just tell them, okay? And sometimes personal experiences, sometimes my niece walks by at my back, and I just tell to my tourists, oh, you see, there are some pretty kids in our city like this one, my niece. So I show my niece to my tourists, so they appreciate that. So it's a talent for you to cope up with those challenges if in case you encounter some, okay? And another important thing is display a full view as possible. What do I mean by displaying a full view? In Google, in Google.
So we can't hear you, James. Your audio has
Okay, can you now hear?
temporary stopped. So, but I do know that you are almost at the end of your tips and tricks. This is your second last tip.
We're actually gearing towards the end. Okay.
Yeah. So the next tip is really
Okay, can you now hear me?
yes.
Not yet. Yes. Okay. So again, moving on. So master the principle of visuals over audio. Okay, meaning what you say should be complemented with what you show, or vice versa. What you show should be complemented on what you say. So that's the principle of visuals over audio. So again, you just have to practice everything for you to master and make a perfect live virtual tour guiding experience. Okay, discounting, of course, the audio problem. Apologies. And lastly, ask for feedback. This is very important because if not with the feedback from your virtual tourists, you won't not be able to improve yourself. So you have to keep improving yourself. Okay, keep improving and learn to listen with what they see, because at the end of the day, it's you, okay, who will be carrying your cities or countries. As I say, you are the ambassadors of your countries. So, before we play the last video, let me end this session with this words, okay, from Harriet Tubman. Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, the passion, to reach for the stars to change the world. With that, thank you so much for listening, and again, apology for the audio difficulty that we've been experiencing throughout this webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank
Ali?
you, James. We are going to play a very short video right now to just see the testimonials of the previous clients that James has brought around the world, Philippines and the world.
Ang 18 taong gulang na si Mika mula Dublin, Ireland, naki-join sa Batanes virtual tour.
This was also efficient as it allows you to plan your future trips as you're given insights to the different tourist attractions you could visit when you go there. Our tour guide also gave us estimated prices of tour packages we could avail when we do decide to go and visit. I also enjoyed the tour very much. Our tour guide was very accommodating, and even though it was only virtual, he made us feel as if we were really there.
This is Session Room.
Ako nasubukan ang virtual tour dahil napanood ko siya sa TV Patrol North Luzon. Siyempre ako lang mag-isa, hindi ko alam yung mga ibang pasikot-sikot doon. Kaya sa pamamagitan ng virtual tour na yon, mas nalalaman ko na saan yung pasikot-sikot ng lugar. And nakakatuwang experience kasi kahit na nasa quarantine period pa rin tayo, parang namamasyal pa rin ako virtually.
Hi, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. This is EG po, tour guide from Cebu. March 7, 2020, yun po yung last na tour ko. Higit sa lahat po, nung sumali po ako sa virtual tour ni Sir Jopet in Baguio and in Batanes, yun po ako nagkalakas ng loob na simulan na talaga ang virtual tour na matagal ko nang iniisip pero hindi ko magawa-gawa. So, last June 12 po, I launched my Independence Day virtual tour. And then after po ako mag-post ng picture, some of my friends told me na gusto din nilang sumama. So, kaya po nag-rerun ako last June 19 nung Independence Day tour na yun sa birthday ni Jose Rizal. If I did not go out there and really put up myself sa virtual world, then I will never know that this could work. So, maraming salamat po kay Sir Jopet na yun, nag-encourage sa akin to do this. So, I am still doing something that I love, only in a different platform. Lahat.
Okay. Thank you very much, James, for this entire workshop. So we're going to dive straight into the Q&A section. We have actually quite a few questions, but we may not be able to get to all of them. So one of the questions that was very interesting was asked by Mr. Mir Abdul Sofiq, who I believe is a lecturer from India. And he asked, how many tourists have shown interest in virtual tours?
Okay, does everybody hear the question? How many tourists have set interest or give interest to the virtual guiding? Yeah. So with regards to the actual number, I would say there are many, but with the actual number, I cannot say anything yet. But from the previous virtual tours that we've been doing, there has been a couple of how would I say, nationalities who put up their interest, because sometimes I also post my schedule to some of the tour guides community over Facebook or over Instagram. So I'm pretty sure based also with the feedback form that I'm receiving from them, because after the tour, I will be sending them a link for them to give me feedback. And most of them are, if not all, most of them are actually positive with the experience itself. Okay, of course, with some comments on example, sometimes I get lost with not just the audio, but even. So in terms of the number, sorry, I cannot give you the actual number. But I'm pretty sure a lot of tourists are now excited. So that's also the reason why we are here, virtual guides, to give them the destinations closer to their homes.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you
thank you.
very much for that answer. One more question from Jovito. How much should guides charge for virtual tours? Are people willing to pay the same price as in-person real-life tours?
Oh, okay. So there are two there. First is how much is the virtual tour. Okay, so maybe he is pertaining to the virtual tours that I've done. Okay, so just to answer, my first few rounds with the virtual tour guiding that I handled or that I've offered, those are free of charge. Okay, but how was I able to manage to earn? Through tips. Okay, tipping. All right. So there are tourists who are really willing to share, okay, to give some. For example, in one full 45-minute experience, I have received at around 10 to 20 US dollars, okay, which is quite good enough for a 45-minute virtual tour experience, and that's based from their tips. Now, since it's actually emerging, evolving here in the Philippines, that we will now jump on to the second question, wherein how much is the virtual tour. It actually, here in the Philippines, I don't actually recommend to price it at this moment because it is an emerging concept yet to be discovered. So it's not advisable to come up with a priced virtual tour experience. So that's also the reason why we've started it free of charge, so that when it's already known in our city or in our country or in the other parts of the world, we can now maybe we can have like a study on how are they able or willing to charge. But just a quick answer, Ali, sorry, just to have a quick quick answer about that. We have actually did a research, okay, on that with some 500 respondents asking if they're willing to pay. And we found out that most of them, these 500, 80% of them are willing to pay at around 5 US dollars each of them for that particular virtual tour experience. So just to give you an idea. All right, so I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you very much, James. So right now we've come to the end of our workshop, and I'm sorry we have so many questions in the Q&A, but we're unable to answer them all due to time constraints. But once again, I want to thank our guest speaker, James, for putting up a brilliant show despite the audio problems that we suffered through. And thank you so much for sharing your passion and your expertise with us. So if I could just get the slides to come up. 1 second. A lot of you have been asking me how exactly are you going to be able to receive the certificate. So the certificate of participation will be sent to all attendees of today's webinar, and it will be sent to your Gmail, to the email that you registered with. And so this is how the certificate of participation will look like. And if we could just go back to the first slide very quickly, I do want to say thank you once again to the co-hosts that have made this event extremely successful. So thank you once again to École Hôtelière de Lausanne, University of Mindanao, PATA Indonesia Bali Tourism Polytechnic Student Chapter, PATA Singapore Temasek Poly Student Chapter, PATA Vietnam RMIT Student Chapter with the THM Club in Saigon as well as Hanoi. So thank you so much to our co-hosts that have made this all possible. There's also a few questions in our Q&A that asked about PATA youth programs and how you can join more of such webinars. So one way that you can do this is to sign up as a PATA youth, and we have a youth symposium that is coming up at the end of September, from 22nd September to 25th September. So all you have to do is go onto pada.org, click events, and you can find the youth symposium there. Our youth symposium is actually a 4-part series where you can learn what the future of tourism is. Next slide, please. You can learn what the future of tourism is during our keynote speech by Euromonitor, and you can also, and in a part 2, sorry, yes, this slide. So in part one, it's our keynote speech by Euromonitor, and we'll be talking about the future of tourism, what are the trends that we should keep an eye on, and what kind of jobs we will see in the future. Part two is our mentorship session, where we will hand select 45 youths to join us for a mentorship session with our industry leaders, where you can ask them your questions and essentially learn from the best. Part three is a student chapter roundtable discussion, where our student chapters will be sharing with us their passion projects and what they've been up to, so that you can see what other youths all over the world are focusing on and are working on. This is where you can learn from your peers and gain inspiration. And in part four, we will be having a panel discussion with HR representatives from beloved brands, and we will be talking about getting a job in a post-COVID-19 world. So the panel discussion part four is really for you to plan your future and to get ready to job hunt. Even though now we know that there are many challenges that we face as a community, as people who want to have a career in tourism. Of course, we know that it's very difficult right now. But at the end of the day, the tourism industry is a very resilient industry, and we will always work towards changing the world for a better place through tourism. So that is really our PATA Youth Program coming up at the end of September. Do join us on pata.org/YTP to become a member. It is for free, and everyone should definitely join us for our youth symposium at the end of the month. So with that, thank you very much. This is our email address and our website. I look forward to seeing you at the rest of our PATA events. And James, once again, thank you very much for the workshop today.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, Ali, for this wonderful opportunity as I share my expertise, not just for the students we have right now, but also to the guys that we have. As you know, the industry is really affected, and we can step into this if we work together. So thank you once again, and I'm a proud member of PATA Youth. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, James. And with that, we will end our virtual tour guiding workshop. Thank you everyone for your time, your patience, and your attention. It was very nice meeting all of you over the chat, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.